Hello everyone and welcome back to the next episode of the Road to Defeat the Master series for the analysis of the very first game of the 2026 calendar year. It happened during the Cracovia Chess Festival during round number 6, in which I got paired against Tymon Czernek from Poland, a young, very good player who has already crossed the 2400 rating mark, so don't worry, it's not like he has been stuck on 2399. He was there before, so very good, solid player, not only in terms of rating obviously, but also in terms of his results, style of play and the opening choices. He has been playing NAJDORF Sicilian for many years, and if you know from the round number 4 of this tournament, when I played my nearly immortal game, another attempt at the, let's say, best game of mine, then I told you guys during the analysis that I want to test out my opponents in the scenarios that they feel best in, and it was no different in here. Even though I knew that the challenge will be tough, I went for it. My opponent played NAJDORF against plenty of strong players, and with black pieces he had a score ratio like 70%. 70% of points he got with black pieces. You don't see that often, you don't see that at all ever, but still I decided, okay, I will go for it, I will do that. I chose bishop e3 line with then kind of unorthodox h3. This is the line I found last year, I believe, and I am losing everything in those. My students are winning every game in those. So I don't know what's that about. Do I teach better than I play, meaning that my students know the variation better than I do myself, that's why they win this? Or does it just simply work until some moment and then it stops working? I'm not sure, but I liked the variation anyway and I wanted to go for it. The idea is that I will be playing queen f3 shortly with the long castle, and I just want to launch the attack on the king side. Black should not stop himself before attacking on the queen side, and we got ourselves pretty dynamic game after b5, g4, b4, knight d5, takes, and bishop c8. It's not the move that you will do ever if you don't know the variation, and this is one thing I like about this variation from white's perspective, is that the moves that we have seen are simply the best for black but are not that easy for black. It's not easy to know that the b pawn can be pushed, because after the exchange on d5 the bishop goes back to c8, what for does he go back to c8, and so on. So and that's why I told you guys maybe it works until some level, because at some level the players are too well prepared. In here objectively I don't have anything going on, but practically I've prepared some very funny looking move, because after bishop d3, which is yet alright and natural, after a5, which is also natural, in here usual stuff would mean that I would go with the king b1, knight d2, h4, knight e4 kind of type of scenario. The move order is, still undecided. I can choose firstly this move and then the other, or the other way around, whatever. But in here I chose knight c5. So once more I was actually playing on the very same board, or maybe similar one to the one 2 rounds ago when I played this amazing game with amazing prep. If you remember, there I blundered fork during the opening, but it was my preparation. In here I blundered a piece, but it was still my preparation. What's that about? The idea is that after dc5, if the knight would be accepted, I play d6 with the discovery attack, and once the rook goes away because it has to, I take the bishop in here, and now even though I lost a pawn, I have opened up plenty of the corridors of the files and diagonals for my pieces. So d file is open, this diagonal is open. Already beforehand I had some pressure in here. So it's not like I have anything concrete in here. I am just relying on the long-term possibilities and activities, and most likely I would choose some continuation of queen e4 with the threat to the checkmate, and after g6 I might play h4 trying to attack this, or if I am worried about the pin, maybe rook h2 e1, solidifying, centralizing the piece, and so on. So all in all, plenty of moves to choose from. Once more, I am kind of getting out of my comfort zone. round number 4 I wanted to sacrifice an exchange. In here I wanted to sacrifice a pawn and go for the long-term initiative and activity. All that talking actually goes into the bin because in here my opponent did not accept the knight and he refused to do this rather quickly, not like very quick, but rather quickly, indicating perhaps that he actually knew the variation. So even knight c5, crazy looking move, did not come as a surprise to my opponent, unfortunately. He played knight d7. Instead of taking the knight for free, he decided that he wants to exchange them, and I have to kind of do it. So I took, he took back, I played king b1 anyway, because it's always useful moves in those type of positions. Rook b8 happened, I started pushing h4, queen c8 happened, attacking my pawn, because my pawn other one has moved, but since the queen has moved and is not attacking this one, I can move my rook now, because after rook to g1, this pawn is somewhat poisoned. I mean, I don't wish anyone to play a move like this if they have a choice not to, because why would you take the pawn? Yes, it's a pawn, but in front of the king, so like, yeah, it cannot be that good. And on top of that, queen h1, not rook h1, queen h1 is basically winning me the game on the spot, because I'm hitting there, and after queen d8 I have g5, and that's that. So obviously this pawn is okay, this pawn is also okay, so I'm fine, but my opponent continues attacking me. And I believe this might be the critical moment of the game. However, the move that I have chosen was still kind of in my book, kind of in my prep, so I will not elaborate on this very position now. I will elaborate on the one afterwards, because in here h5 was very natural to me. Usually when having this bishop you want to take over the f5 and g6 squares with the pawns, so that some pressure along this diagonal might be created, and my opponent played a3. And this is the most critical moment of the game, the first one actually critical one, because until this point I was relying not precisely move by move, but mostly on my prep. First 15 moves I did as in prep, next 5 I did similarly to it. This is the first move, first decision that I have to make on my own. And what do you know, I actually lost the game in here. Like, the move I've made, first one on my own, was a terrible blunder. I missed plenty of stuff. We'll see about it in a second. The question is, what would you do if you knew that the position is alright and you can do whatever, right? So not only did I miscalculate, but also it kind of shows the too much respect I gave to my opponent beforehand, because yes, I kind of fooled myself that I want to go into aggressive mode, play the NAJDORF, go into his cave, you know, and try him out, test him out. But once we got this position, I kind of, you know, as you say, chickened out in a sense, because in here there is no stopping, no coming back. He attacks me, I attack him, this is how it's supposed to be. Queen e4 should have been played because I have just prepared, right? So why did I go away from it? I'm not sure. G6 is the only logical move to stop anything. And now bishop h6, making use of those light dark squares around the king. If the rook goes somewhere, let's say to e8, I can try to disrupt the pawn chain in front of the black king, or I can even try to go for f4. This is the computer's suggestion. Obviously, from the distance, not possible to see, because you are first of all you know, sacrificing this pawn, because the queen is no longer protecting it. You might be opening up the e-file on which your queen is standing, but it's all about the disruption, the you know, the dynamite type of scenario in here in front of the black king. We want to open up everything, take everything, sacrifice if needed, and so on, and get to the black king before black will get to our white one, right? But yeah, I was lacking this aggressive approach, and I've played b3 because, like, why not? Yes, I am obviously weakening the squares around the king, but after queen c3 I have bishop c1, so that's all right. And I knew that with the queens along the third rank, it should have been easy for me to try to exchange the queens, so no problem, right? I mean, and the problem of mine was that I wanted to draw. I don't want to win. This is the problem, the mindset problem, not chess problem, because you cannot go for the drawing chances when having such position. Simple as that. I'm sorry for being so like chaotic in here today with this game, but it still gives me so many emotions. Like, how could I do it? I mean, wow. Anyway, what happens after queen c3? After bishop c1, it's still alright. My problem was that I did not make blunder check after the variation was continuing, because what you see from this moment after I played b3 until the moment that the game is lost, I played with pre-moves, you know, b3, bishop c1, then move, but I've missed one trick. After queen c3, bishop f1, bishop c1, sorry, f5, takes, I played queen g3, you know, attacking the checkmate, and trying to exchange the bishops, the queens, like, you know, going into an endgame, full endgame mode. And I saw the e4 move. But I thought, okay, I will just, you know, go back with the bishop and the queens have to be exchanged. There is no way for the opponent to go away from it, right? Right? Well, there is one, and I'm losing on the spot, and this is the problem. When playing b3, I did not see e3. This is opened, so there is no checkmate. This is closed, so there is no exchange. This is opened, so there is the checkmate on my king. And if I want to protect myself through the checkmate on the light squares, I will get checkmated on the dark squares. Simple as that. Simple as that. And I should have been checking my variations more precisely, especially at this very moment, because in here I don't have to lose if I will play queen e3, not allowing this pawn to push further, because after e4 now I can jump away, go away, and we are okay. We are playing. Like, I wanted to get such type of the position, even though objectively speaking I am not good in here. This is yet another problem on the pile of problems of mine in this game, that I did not evaluate this endgame precisely. I thought it's around equality, but indeed it's simply much better for black. I lack the activity, I lack the space, and those weaknesses is not enough for me to claim any kind of counterplay whatsoever. So yeah, but yeah, I played queen g3, and only after e4 I realized what has happened. And in here it's too late, guys. Too late. Terrible stuff. Like 20 moves of prep, one move of your own, and after 3 more moves you can lose. You can resign. Like, terrible stuff. So yeah, going back for a second to this moment, I believe that such a move should be ringing 20 bells in my head, that it's not looking good intuitively. It's not something that you usually want to play in chess. So if you want to give the arguments for it by calculating the variations, please do your homework, please do your job and calculate the best you can. And I know that I can do it better, but in here I didn't do it. So yeah, I got myself into this position. After e4 I was like, oh well, e3 is incoming, so I cannot just drop back the bishop and allow it. I had to sacrifice the bishop, not because I wanted to, but because I had to, with the hope that after bishop e3, trade of the queens, rook d to e1, I will be, by some miracle, creating some play, some threat to the bishops on the e file, but obviously it's not working. He just simply played rook b4, protecting bishop, and after I took a pawn, rook d4, rook is okay, bishop is okay, therefore this one is okay too. I'm a piece down. I mean, yeah, terrible stuff. So I've continued few more moves because it was only like an hour and something. It was really a disgrace to finish that early. So I just played out few moves like pinning the bishop, trying to, you know, make an argument that okay, it's still okay, I'm fighting, but yeah, I'm not. He took my pawn, giving me the bishop away because he's using now my king's problems, obviously because of this annoying pawn. He gave a check and played bishop g5, making use of the pin. I had to play a4 in order to give my king the breathing space in order to avoid checkmate, but after takes, rook f2, I decided, okay, I've played those 5 more moves, not sure why, and that's enough. I don't want to look at this anymore, and yeah, this is it. One of my worst losses with white pieces in a while. Frustrating too, because it was a loss out of prep basically. I did not understand them properly. I mean, them as the positions. I did not calculate, like nothing have worked, nothing. Scary stuff. How can I be such a good player during a good day, as in the round number 4, and how can I be such a bad player just 2 days later, right? I have one theory, meaning that in round number 4 it was pure calculation. So firstly, good preparation, and then straight into calculation mode. I calculated everything and I won. In here, between the prep and the calculation, there was strategical understanding of the position. So maybe this is my problem. Yeah. Okay, I do not want to make this video and analysis any longer. So subscribe to not miss out, like to cheer me up, and we'll see each other. Bye bye.